York. This is Reading Cross coming at you with another episode in this hot summer of baseball. So we have a lot to talk about today. Yankees had a great weekend. Mets are red hot. So lots to talk about. So first, we're going to dive right into the Yankees. And first off, there was no trade made at the deadline. Did this surprise you as a Mets fan, Cross, since you guys got Marcus Stroman?
Yeah, it surprised me very much that the Yankees didn't make any moves at all. I thought they were at least going to come out with a guy like Matthew Boyd, but it turns out you didn't go after anybody. And right now, the plan's working out, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, obviously for Matt Boyd, they asked for Glaber for him, and you've seen that. I think it's smart to hold on to him. I wouldn't trade him for anyone except Mike Trout, honestly.
Yeah, Cashman made it pretty clear that Glaber wasn't going anywhere. A lot of teams were asking for Glaber. I don't think it was ever going to happen, but I think the Mets and Yankees did have talks about Zach Wheeler, and I'm pretty sure the Mets did throw around a guy like Glaber, and there's no chance that Cashman was moving Glaber at all.
No, not at all. And it kind of, the bad teams in the MLB kind of got hot. It was kind of really bad timing. Like, I feel like all the lower tier teams, like the Mets, the Giants, they all got hot, and all their trade candidates, they want to hold on so they can go for it.
Yeah, it all came out of nowhere. And then it ended up hurting like teams like the Yankees and the Red Sox who are fighting to. I mean, the Yankees, they pretty much have a playoff spot secure. We'll get into the Red Sox and how bad they are, but it did take the whole league by surprise just seeing like kind of like because the good teams in the American League are staying where they are, like they're still good, but the bad teams in the National League, they're now playing for a playoff spot.
Yeah, the NL is definitely better than the American League. I feel like there's really just the Marlins are the really bad team. Every other team's pretty quality in the NL. The
Yeah,
AL, you got the Tigers, the Orioles, the Royals.
yeah, like from like all around, like the National League is better, but the American League definitely has the more powerhouse teams like the
Oh yeah,
Yankees and
yeah.
the
The best
Astros.
teams. There's the Dodgers. I mean, in my opinion, it looks like they're gonna run away with another NL pennant.
But
It's up. It's between the Yankees and the Astros for sure.
yeah,
All right, so going before the Yankees Red Sox series, Luke Voigt goes down with a sports hernia, so it's in the air if he's going to have surgery. So if that's the case, you probably won't see him until last week of the season, hopefully, and playoffs, hopefully the ALDS. So that'd be a big blow.
yeah, the injury bug continues to bite you guys. Luke Voigt, he got hit in the face with a fastball, and he stayed in for that, but looks like this one not so much.
Yeah, it was bothering him for a while, he said, and then he finally decided he couldn't take it anymore. So he was playing through it for a little bit.
But yeah, but I mean, from how you guys played this weekend, it didn't really seem to hurt you that much.
Nope, not at all. As we go to the positive note, as we just absolutely sweep the Red Sox out of New York. Didn't really beat them up except for game one of that doubleheader, and then last night had our way with them, but we'll get into that game four later. So first game, uh, Paxton comes in, gives up a two-run bomb to Martinez, and we're like, uh-oh, here we go again. But Yankees answer right back as Glaber Torres hits a grand slam, and that was all she wrote for that game.
Yeah, that obviously that grand slam turned everything around because, like you said, Paxton has been struggling a bit. Gives up 2 runs in the first inning, and then all of a sudden Glaber just turns the game around. You guys, I'm sure you were thinking like, oh no, here we go again. But Paxton, he had himself a great bounce back game.
He did, and I think he's really the key to this team's success.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
think Tanaka will show up to the postseason. I think Herman is just proven he's the best pitcher on this team right now. So if Paxton can be what he was last night and be that guy with no hit stuff, he's definitely a key to this team's success, especially if Severino's coming back, which I think had a lot to do with why we didn't go for someone.
yeah. You don't know what you're gonna get from Sevy. Tanaka, he's always performed good in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, 1.80 ERA,
Yeah. So,
5 starts.
and then Herman, he's this is like his first full season. He's never played in the playoffs, so you don't know what you're gonna get from him. So Paxton, really, that he's like, aside from Sevy and Tak, he's like the veteran of that pitching staff right now.
Yeah, he really is. So he's gotta keep it going. He can't just have another bad start. He's gotta rattle off a few of these. So game 2, Herman wins his 14th game of the year. The Yankees just bash up on the Red Sox. Chris Sale throws a bitch fit. He's punching himself in the head, screaming at the ump, letting the fans get in his head, and oof, he's having a rough year. 5-12 now, I think.
Yeah, he really lost his cool at the end of that game. And we thought for a moment, like a couple months back, that he was snapping out of it and coming back to his normal self, but
He's had like 3 good games.
yeah, and then he's back to how he was at the beginning of the season. It's real, like Chris Sale. I never thought I would ever see a year like this from him. He's just been not good the entire season.
Yeah, not at all. Right after he got that huge contract too. So.
And like it's going into the year, like that's the only guy the Red Sox could really rely on as their best pitcher, because you never know what you're gonna get from David Price. He's always on and off. So just seeing Chris Sale pitch like this, it's really weird, because
it's weird, and it's a lot to do with their struggles. They don't have that ace leading their staff.
Yeah, not at all.
So game 3, also known actually going to Encarnacion first. Gets hit on the wrist, and unfortunately in the 8th inning, and fractured his wrist. Basically the same thing that happened to Judge last year. So same thing as Voit. Looks like he won't be back until the playoffs.
Yeah, that's stupid. I saw they had that stupid parrot in the dugout with his wrist wrapped up.
Oh, don't talk about Eddie the Parrot like that.
So
Eddie the Parrot. No, Eddie the Parrot is a member of the Yankees.
Is he gonna replace Encarnacion?
I hope so, but I'll get into Mike Ford in a little bit. Remember this name, people, Mike Ford. So we go out in game 3, and Mike Tauchman comes up clutch in the 7th inning in a 4-4 game, makes it 6-4. Glaber hit 2 tanks, and Chapman comes out, and Chapman's really been struggling of late, but he looks like he was getting back to his usual self, as he just made the Sox look silly in that 9th inning.
Yeah, Michael Tauchman, when he's played this year, he's been hitting, and
he's a very good baseball player. He's hitting .295. He has a multi-home run game tonight. I think that puts him up to 10 now. He has like some stat that's like up there with like top 3. I know he has like a higher WAR than Harper. I know that was a stat.
Yeah, and that just goes to show how like the top teams in baseball, they know how to develop players in the minor leagues. If Michael Tauchman was on the Mets right now, he'd be in single A. Fucking.
I know. Well, we got him from the Rockies the last day of spring training.
Oh, so I mean, so you guys got him this off season? I thought he was on the team last year as well.
No, we got him like March 28th.
Oh wow.
No, like March 25th, something like that.
So yeah, and I'm sure he wasn't like a top prospect with the Rockies, was he?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a top prospect. We traded like a minor league pitcher for him, like a single A, double A player. Mm-hmm. He's like this version of Voit, and Cashman just continues to do it. Going back from Didi to Voit, now looks like Tauchman's the next one, or Urshela. It's just incredible.
Yeah, and you got the your depth is proving to be the strong suit of the team.
Exactly. So I've been able to hold it together. But we weren't able to do that last year. But game 4, the struggling Judge finally comes out of it with a bomb off David Price, and Gio Urshela hits a tank, and then he had a little rough at bat later in the game. But the Yankees just beat up on Price for 7 runs, and it was deja vu all over for him at the Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, Price just can't seem to beat the Yankees in the big games.
Yeah, not in the big games, and the only win he has at Yankee Stadium, I was there for this May, so that's the only win he's ever had at Yankee Stadium with the Red Sox.
That must have got under your skin a bit.
It was rainy too. Well, they were beating us like 7-1, and we lost like 7-5, so it was definitely a tease. And that was the game that Clint missed the grounder, or the ball in right field.
Oh, so that was just a rough game.
That was a rough game.
So let me ask you this: the Boston Red Sox. We got 7 weeks left, and they're 6.5 out of the second wild card. Are they done or are they dead?
Done. They're done. Put a fork in them. Put tiki oil on the coffin. They're dead.
Yeah, the pitching has killed them the entire season.
They didn't go out and get anyone. They didn't go out and get Diaz. They didn't go out and get Vasquez. They didn't go out and get Giles. They didn't go out and get Hand. No one.
Well, in their position, I guess their defense is what we won the World Series last year. But I mean, you also lost.
But look at the Astros.
Yeah,
they want to improve. Mm-hmm. The Red Sox, come on. If they were all like, they were all talking like, we're gonna repeat. No, I mean, they're almost as bad as the freaking '98 Marlins.
Yeah, and also, how could you say that you're the same team last year when you lose your setup man and your closer? Like, you could have the lead up until the 7th inning, but when it comes late in the game, like I've seen with the Mets the entire year, like you need those guys to lock it down in the late innings, because if you don't, that's where you lose the ball game.
That's true. I think Martinez is gonna opt out.
Yeah, cause they can't. It's gonna be tough for them because they want to pay Mookie. Obviously, like he's the.
I don't know if he's gonna resign because he rejected a $200 million 8-year extension.
Yeah, so
he says he's waiting until he's a free agent, and with that, how much money they have on their cap right now.
Yeah, they're playing for sale.
Trying to deal some players.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. And it seems like the Red Sox are always like this. They win the World Series, and then the next year they're in last place. Then they're in last place, and then all of a sudden they're in first place again. But like, who knows right now? Because the way their roster is with their cap space right now, I don't know how this team is gonna look within the next couple of years.
Yeah, I know, because it could be like right after 2008 again, where they traded off Lester, they traded off Crawford, they traded off Gonzalez right after he won the MVP. Yeah,
so Red Sox, it's not a good situation at all in Boston right now.
No, and like if Mookie, like if they're like really bad and the word's out, he's not gonna want to stay. You can see them trying to move him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Mookie wants to stay. I can't see him playing in any other uniform, but I'm sure when it comes down to time to make the decision, who knows what's going to happen.
I say put him in center.
Yeah, of course.
Trade Aaron Hicks. I mean, I love Hicks, but could you imagine?
I could see that actually. Like I could see the Yankees.
Hell yeah! All he has to do is shave the goatee.
Yeah.
Him and Judge are already boys.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player. I'd take him any day.
Yep, and a hell of a bowler too.
Yeah.
Mookie Betts, he's the only Red Sox I like. I genuinely like Mookie Betts.
So it was David Ortiz. David Ortiz passed that torch down to him?
Definitely, yeah. But how about your Metropolitans?
All right, so the red hot New York Mets. So we go into Chicago. We sweep the White Sox. Game 1 was the only really scary game. We were up 2-0 the entire game. Noah Syndergaard pitched 7, only gave up 1 run. So then in the 9th inning, Diaz comes in with a 2-1 lead, and he blows it, of course. That's his 6th blown save in the year. But then the next 3 innings, Jeff McNeil, he's been on a power surge. He hits a home run, gives us the lead. Then the next batter, Michael Conforto, hits a home run. We got ourselves a nice cushion. We end up winning that game the next inning. Then next game, DeGrom pitching. He was great. He only gave up 1 run. Then next game, we had Zach Wheeler going, and he was terrific as well. So we went on to sweep the White Sox. Then going into the Pirates, we took 2 out of 3 against them. Game 1, it looked like it was easy going. We got a quick 3-0 lead. Steven Match was pitching terrific. Didn't allow any runs, but in the 5th inning, the Pirates attacked him for 5 runs. And then we just couldn't come back after that one. Game 2, we were getting beat the entire game. But then in the 8th inning, Wilson Ramos steps in. He hits a 2-run bomb to give us the lead. And Wilson Ramos, that was, like, up until that game, I was saying, what is up with Wilson Ramos? Like, the guy, he's the slowest player in baseball, hands down, and he only hits ground balls. And behind the plate, I mean, he just lets every ball past them. So I was getting really frustrated with him. But then it all worked out. He hit the 2-run bomb to give us the lead, and then the next inning he got us some important insurance runs. Game 3, J.D. Davis, who has been batting 400 over his last 15 games. He had a monster 449-foot bomb.
The cameraman didn't even see it.
That was the Pirates PR said that was that ball has never been hit into the spot he hit it in. He hit it in that that circular ramp thing that they have. He hit it in the top fourth row of that. So it was a majestic shot. And the Mets are down right now, 3-4, 4-3, and J.D. Davis just hit another home run. So he's staying hot right now. Speaking of hot though, Ahmed Rosario, he's got his batting average up to the 280s, and the dude's just been playing great in the field. He's played about 320 career games, and if you look at his stats from game 1 to game 300, he's just like been getting better every single game. I really love to see that. He's going to be, but in the next few years, he's going to be up there with Tatis Jr. as one of the best shortstops in the National League. So I'm very excited for him to keep progressing. And just over the stretch that we've been winning, we've just had dominant pitching. Noah Syndergaard has pitched 35 innings since the All-Star break, and he's only allowed 7 runs. He has a 1.78 ERA, and he's thrown 39 strikeouts, and he's only allowed 8 walks while giving up 0 home runs. So he's been great, along with DeGrom, and Matz has been very good too, besides that one start. And Wheeler's showing that, like, he feels like, with all the trade talks, he was kind of worried. He didn't know where he was going to be playing. And then once he knows that he's going to be staying and we're probably going to be extending him, now I feel like he's just pitching freely, and he's having one of the best stretches of his career right now. But
he's hot.
Yeah, other than that, Pete Alonso has been struggling, which I didn't expect, but probably everyone else in the world expected it. You expected it.
It happens.
It's going to happen to these rookie guys. So he hasn't had a home run in the last 2 weeks. So just hoping that he could get it back going. And in the final game against Pittsburgh, Robinson Cano tore his hamstring, and it's a shame because just when he was getting hot, he had 3 doubles in that game where he got hurt. And I think that's the last time I think we're going to see him playing a Mets uniform. Because if you think about it, he's 36 years old. He took PEDs, and when you stop taking PEDs, that wears down your body. Like, you have to use those consistently if you're gonna stay healthy. So the guy's body's beat up. Again, he's 36 years old. So
you think he's just gonna Ellsbury you guys?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It's gonna, they have him on the 10-game IL right now, but he's.
So you think his season, no doubt?
Oh yeah, because it's torn. It's torn. So. He's going to be done for the rest of the year. And right now, it'd be a perfect spot to be like, oh yeah, let's just put Jed Lowry in at second base. But it turns out he's dead too. I mean, they asked Mickey Callaway today.
Second baseman in baseball.
According to Shredder, they asked Mickey Callaway today if how Jed Lowry's been doing, and he's like, yeah, he's been doing baseball activities. Like, what does that mean? Like, Jacoby Ellsbury's been doing baseball activities for a year now. Like, we're not gonna see Jed Lowry this year, and we're not gonna see Robinson Cano this year. And I mean, there's still options out there right now. We have Ruben Tejada in AAA right now, who's batting .336. I'd love to see him be called back up, give us some 2015 magic. Maybe he'll get his leg broken again by
Manny Machado.
Yeah, and and then also, Asdrubal Cabrera was just DFA'd by the Texas Rangers. So we have options. We could go out and get the Ass Man. He had a great run with the Mets. He was one of my favorite players when he was with us. So
he's clutch.
Yeah, he really is, and I'd love to see that. So right now, Conforto actually just hit a home run to tie it. We're 4-4 in the bottom of the 7th. So in Game 1 of this doubleheader against the Marlins, we took Game 1, and that got us back to 500. DeGrom had a great game. So we're back at 500 for the first time since May. 2.5 out of the wild card, and we're 13.
It's possible.
Yeah, we're 13-2 out of our last 15 games. So we got 7 weeks left. I think, call me crazy, because I am, but I think we're gonna make the playoffs. I think we're gonna grab that second wild card.
I wouldn't say you're crazy. You're 2.5 out, and
And the
you
Phillies,
sure as hell have a way better chance than the reigning world champs.
the Phillies are not a good team.
Sorry, Chapman just struck out the final player of the game, 103.
Oh, 103.
He's back.
That's some major league gas right there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
How many back of the Braves?
We're 10 games back from the Braves, so we're not gonna catch the division most likely, but we could get that second wild card, which is better than nothing. So yeah, I definitely think we could do it.
Yeah, maybe do it and probably go into Washington, right? So now going into Doofus and Congrats Guy of the Week, and I'm going right into my Doofus, and we were talking about him earlier. Chris Sale, I mean, the guy just stinks. He's such a little bitch, too.
Yeah, do you think he's going to be cutting up the Red Sox jersey?
I think he's going to create some type of scene towards the end of the year.
Yeah, looking back at his entire career, he's always been an asshole. I mean,
last year when Sebi gave up a home run once, he was screaming at him from the dugout, and so I love seeing him just have not a good time.
But one of the when he just went during the World Series when he just went off on the team in the dugout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a competitive guy, but sometimes he gets carried away a bit.
And look how skinny he is. Like the guy can fit through a Cheerio.
So,
gets his belly button pierced.
my doofus of the week is the Seattle Mariners, because they are undefeated when they play Ichiro this year. I mean, why not bring him back? I'm kidding, obviously. Ichiro, great career, but just thinking about the Mariners history, they had Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Ichiro, Alex Rodriguez, Jay Buhner. I mean, not all of them together. Edgar Martinez. Not all of them were together, but all around the same time, and they done nothing besides go to the
Cameron.
Yeah, Mike Cameron. They did nothing besides go to the American League Championship once. I mean,
and they lost in 5.
Yeah, and they haven't been to the playoffs since. So, I mean, they have the next Mike Trout though, so things might be looking up for them.
No, because they usually the teams just stink around them. Like Ken Griffey, you had Ken Griffey, A-Rod, and Edgar, and Randy Johnson at the same time.
Yeah, Jay Buhner as well, who's a really good power hitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, who's your congrats guy?
Unfortunately, the Houston Astros. It's unbelievable. Aaron Sanchez is 3-13 and goes to Houston and pitches 6 innings, and they go on to have a combined no-hitter with Joe Biagini, who they also got from the Blue Jays. And then they go out and get Zach Greinke. I was actually at the game when he got pulled halfway. He probably won us the game.
It's just
when he got traded midway in the game.
It's just something in the water in Houston.
Yeah, it's something. But you see how good Sanchez is. Imagine Greinke.
I know it's gonna be ridiculous. Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous, and after one day of Sanchez being there, that, and I'm sure that's just gonna give him confidence for the rest of the year to just go out and be lights out.
I know exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I can't.
I think it's gonna be another epic 7-game series.
Yeah, Zach Greinke's gonna be dirty with the Astros.
He is.
So going into my congrats guy, I got Seth Lugo, the National League Relief Pitcher of the Month, and along with Seth Lugo, I didn't know this either. Seth Lugo, when they told him he got the award, he goes, "I didn't even know that they hand out Relief Pitcher of the Month awards." So congrats to Seth Lugo. He's been the only strong relief pitcher we had the entire year. He only had one bad outing this whole season, and it was against the Cubs when Javier Baez took him deep. And going into that outing, he told Mickey Callaway that he didn't have his stuff that day, but Mickey Callaway chose to ignore him, and he sent him out there, and that was his only bad outing. And that was the same day where Mickey Callaway tried to fight Mickey tried to fight the reporter.
Mickey.
Yeah. So going into our players of the week, our cross reading, I've got my American League Player of the Week is Vladdy Guerrero Jr., who was batting average of .516 and a .935 slugging percentage this week. He also had 3 home runs, and it's been a coming out party for him ever since the All-Star break. Like, I root for him so hard. I root for him more than I do for Pete Alonso. You know what I mean? Of course I root for Pete. I want Pete Alonso to do great every at bat, but I just really want Ahmed to do good. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Because he was a number.
That's kind of like me with Judge and Gary. Judge is gonna show up, but when Gary hits a bomb, I'm just it definitely feels good.
Yeah, especially Ahmed.
So many people doubt them.
Yeah, Ahmed, the number 2 prospect in baseball when he came up, struggled a lot, and now it just really seems like he's finally getting it. He's been playing a great shortstop, and now he's got that batting average up there. So hopefully we'll be seeing him batting second or in the leadoff spot. But I'm very happy for Ahmed.
Yeah, good for him. Hopefully he keeps it going.
So yeah.
But I just want to go in more on Mike Ford real quick before we go.
All right, go ahead.
So this guy comes up because Encarnacion broke his wrist. Voit most likely is going to be out for a while. So they call up Mike Ford, who played a little bit this season, and he's played 630 minor league games.
Jeez, how old is he?
28.
Jeez.
The man comes up in the 8th inning in a 6-6 game and hits a bomb.
Has he always been with the Yankees?
He's been with the Yankees most of his career. They lost him to the Rule 5 draft to the Mariners, and then they got him back.
Wow.
But he made his MLB debut in April and played a few games, went back down, and now he's back up and probably going to be up for a while. So
you think he's the answer at first base for now?
Yep, he's the answer. He's going to hit probably 20 bounce in the next
one. I mean, you look at Luke Voit. Last year he came up around this time, right? And
that's true. And Voit was the same thing. He played 5 years in the minors.
Yeah, he was seemed to be a lifelong minor leaguer. All right, follow us on Twitter at Metsman19. Reed is at 2Sides of New York. We're on Instagram at 2Sides of New York. We're also on Spotify and Anchor now, so listen to us on there. Thank you for listening.
Peace out.